With us now we have John Lennon. John, I know you've been cooped up somewhat sort of in the room. How have you enjoyed your New York visit, looking out at those several thousand fans?
Well, it's marvellous, you know. We like seeing them outside the window. It's great.
Ever want to go down and say hello?
Yeah, but nobody'd ever let us, you know. They won't even let us wave. We're going to ask them if we can wave today, because that's the least we can do if they're all standing there, because they don't see us, you know, because we get dragged out through back entrances and things, so we're going to try and wave.
That is the rumor down there, John, that you were going to wave, and in fact it circulated among the teenagers. Why is it they won't let you?
Because I think the police are worried that it'll sort of incite them more, but I think, you know, because other people are waving and pretending to be us out the window, and we may as well wave.
Do you like New York City for any particular reason?
I like all cities, you know, better than countryside, and I like New York because it's big, you know, I like London because it's big, I like big cities.
Have you gotten to go anywhere here?
Not this time, we did last time, we saw quite a bit, you know.
John, when they stormed the stage last night at Forest Hills, I'm sure that's happened to you before. Do you ever get worried that they might get through?
No, you know, I always have hysterics when they get on stage, because the one last night got George, and I could hear all wrong notes coming out. He was trying to carry on playing, you know, the girl hanging around his neck. It was funny.
Do you ever get frightened at any of these experiences on stage or when you're being pursued, let's say?
Not really. You know, we get battered mostly by people trying to guard us. You know, they get in the way half the time. They're always grabbing us and shoving us in the wrong thing. But on stage, I always feel safe even when they break through. I don't know, it must be some kind of, you know, I just feel as though I'm all right when I'm plugged in, and I don't feel as though they're getting me.
I wondered about it last night, John. When you, do you know that the guitars are in tune? I noticed, you know, they put them there on stage, you come running on, and there you start. How do you know they're in tune? Do you tune them beforehand?
We usually tune them beforehand, yeah, you know, and then before they're taken on, so as we know that they're in tune. But you know, last night mine kept going out of tune, don't know what was the matter with it.
I have heard reports that you really aren't singing during this tour because of the noise, that you're just lip syncing more or less. Is that true, or are you singing?
No, we're singing like mad. I don't see places like the Hollywood Bowl, we were heard, you know, good acoustics, even though the crowd was wild. There's a couple of places we've been heard quite well, you know, better than we've been heard for years.
This is a question that's asked by quite a few listeners. How many instruments do you guys work with all together?
Do you need various instruments, or how many guitars have we got?
How many guitars?
Oh, I've got about 4 or 5, and George has got about 8, and Paul's got 2, I think.
John, thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Goodbye.
Thanks a lot. The incident, Ringo, the incident last night with the medallion was pulled off. Have you ever faced this before on your many trips?
No, that's about the closest I've ever been to sort of being got.
Did you fight back at all, or was
it just trying to get in, you know, just trying to get away?
Was there enough police protection out there?
Yeah, well, you know, once the police sort of found out, you know, or saw the kids getting me, they run over and got me away.
Yeah, Ringo, how have you enjoyed this trip to New York so far?
Great. You know,
You wish you could get out there?
yeah, you know, I'd like to go around a bit. But, you know, I just love New York anyway, as a city. It's the best city in the world, I think. It moves more than London, you know. There's so much, I don't know, it's sort of an atmosphere. As soon as you get off the plane, you feel things are happening, you know.
Do you play any other instruments besides drums?
Not to speak of. I play about a couple of chords on a guitar. I bought an organ, which I've got rid of because I never had time to play it, and I just learned a few bits on there. No, not really, you know.
You know, it seems to me that we've been, you know, through all the shows, and it seems to me that the highlight of each show is when you sing your song, Boys. Who wrote this song?
I don't know. The Shirelles recorded it first. It was on the B. It's the B-side of Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow about 4 years ago, and I've done it ever since.
You like to do it on stage? It seems that you put everything into it.
Well, I have a good time because I have this one little go of singing, you know, and I have to shout like mad to get a note anyway, and I just have a good time. It's good fun.
You find it hard to play the drums, and you've got so many drums up there and sing at the same time. It takes a lot of coordination, doesn't it?
Not now. I used to find it hard, but I've been doing that for 4 years now, so you sort of get used to it, you know.
And how about you with dating? Do you date quite a bit back home, go out quite a bit?
Yeah, no, I go out now. Well, at least when we're in London, we're not working sort of early the next day. I go out every night, you know.
Have you had any dates in America?
Well, I've met a few friends, you know. I'm a
give me any names.
Ringo, I think I saw you, maybe I'm wrong, and tell me if I am, with a Green Hornet comic book or some magazine the other day on the plane. Do you enjoy science fiction, or what is this?
Yeah.
Is that your favorite type of reading?
I read a lot of science fiction books, but the other day we got a lot of comics on the plane to read, because we like comics too, you see.
Ringo, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Paul, what influence does country western music have on your, let's say, what influence did it have? I know we had a little bash session, which I taped last night. Do you think it has a great influence?
On our music? Yes, you know, we've sort of been fans of a lot of country and western people for a long time, especially people like Carl Perkins, who are sort of semi-country western people. Yeah, we all like it, and apparently some of the fellas from country and western country, like Memphis and Nashville, you know, that we've talked to, said that our music sounds a little bit like it. It's a bit influenced. Probably is, you know.
What other influence would you say you had at the beginning? We get a lot of letters about this.
Early Elvis Presley, I'd say. Yeah, definitely. And American groups, generally. Just American color groups, particularly.
One question I want to ask you. I've been sent along 6,000 letters, which I put in the baggage compartment here. And I don't know if you get a chance to read them, but these come from people in the South Florida area. Do you get a chance to read these letters? Is there some chance that you might get to read one or two of them?
Yeah, you know, we read quite a lot, actually. You know, the trouble is mainly answering them, you know, but we try and answer as many as we can.
Paul, do you think that the Beatles will ever change their sphere completely from music to movies, or will it always be music, mainly in your mind?
I don't know, really, you know. At the moment, we're not... at the moment, none of us, I don't think anyway, very good in movies. You know, I think Ringo and John in the last one were the best. But,
well, I think a lot of people thought you were mighty good, too.
I see. Well, I think they're wrong. No, I thought I was terrible, actually. But, you know, maybe after a few movies, after a couple more, we might get a bit better. I can't tell, really. If we do get better, and if any one of us or the four of us all suddenly become good actors, well, that would be great. You know, of course we'll do more movies, because we enjoy doing them, and we'll also do music in them, you know.
John, here's a weird question, kind of unusual. What do you think about all these...
Oh, Harry.
Oh, Paul. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Harry.
A little sleepy. Paul, this is an odd question. What do you think about all these newsmen around? Does it ever bother you? Like, we're with you on the plane. We don't try to get to you too much.
Well, I'll tell you what, the best thing about you lot, you know, is that on the plane, we can trust you, you know. And we know that, for instance, if one of us wants to go to sleep, then you won't be coming up flashing cameras in our faces, you know, something like that. So that's fine, you know, everybody on the plane, we know now, and we can trust them to sort of think about, you know, us a bit. Normally, it doesn't work because people just sort of are out for all they can get, you know, and if they catch you sleeping, they'll flash a flash right in your face, you know. But, I mean, this isn't all of the time. But occasionally you can get sick of that. You can imagine, you know, that can get sickening. But it's much better once you get to know people, because then you just sort of ask them, you say, you know, do you mind when we're sleeping, you know, please don't flash it in our face, or please don't come up and wake us up and say, hi Paul, can I have an interview? You know, and something like that is terrible, but most people are very considerate, you know, and generally speaking, when you get to know the press, they're good fellows, you know.
Since I've left Miami, and this is for the Miami people, we've had quite a few letters, something like 6,000 letters, asking that the Beatles come down to Miami. Any chance?
Well, you know, we'd love to, because we were there on Miami Beach before, and all of us, in fact, had a great time. In fact, we seem to have had a great time everywhere in America. It is a good place. But listen, you know, if we could get down to Miami, I know we would. In fact, if we can, when we're somewhere near there, aren't we, Jackson?
Jacksonville's about 400 miles away.
Oh, I see. Well, we're nowhere near it then. I thought, aren't we any nearer?
Well, actually, our station individually down in Miami is sending 100 fans up in a chartered airliner. Yeah. So they're all coming up to see you. So it works out for the best anyway. What do you think about this folklore music that you hear about? Like last night, Peter, Paul, and Mary were here. They had a lot of praise for the Beatles, and Do you think that your music has any of this in it?
What?
Folk songs.
Stuff? I don't know, really. You know, if you look beyond the idea of folk songs, then it's true that the fact that our songs are now popular, it's the folk music of today. It's a very sort of vague statement, that, but you know what I mean? Greensleeves and all the real old English folk songs, and, you know, Drink to Me Only with Thine Eyes and all that sort of stuff. All the very, very old madrigals were the pop songs of the day.
Not to be repetitive, somebody mentioned this before. Are you planning to get married in the near future, or engaged or anything like that, or do you date much?
Date much? Every time any of us gets the opportunity, except John, you know, we do. We sort of meet girls, go out with them, and go to shows and things with them. But I'm not planning to get married. I mean, you know, people start marrying me after Jane, because Jane is, you know, by American terms, my steady date. You know, we never use the word in England. But, you know, I suppose you could call her my steady date, because I see her most when we're in London, you know. And so, consequently, people start saying, well, you know, bound to get married soon, bound to be engaged. It's not true, actually. But, I don't know, you know, I just give in trying to deny it. There's so many people.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Not at all, Larry.
Okay, bye.